That's Val. That's the lowering. There's no tornado on the ground with that. Not yet, not now, but that could certainly change. Okay, let's go back into western Oklahoma here on Links 1 and take a look at that. And this is the other storm. Now, this has produced the first tornado of the day. We had it live right here on News 9. And we were the first to have it live because we have all of our trackers out here. And here's the deal. This thing is lifting to the northeast. There's the hook on it. And I tell you what, let's go back to Marty here. Let's get an update from Marty. Your hook's right here. And there's a little feeder band coming in there. There's lots of things going on looking at radar. Hey, Marty.
There it is.
Okay,
there it is.
Okay, is it on the ground, Marty?
It's going to be almost, let me get my bearings here. It's going to be northwest of Hammond, probably 5, 6, 7 miles. We have a lowered area off to my left, which would be off to my northwest. We're very slowly. I got 2 lowerings, 2 areas. We're just now getting to where we can see them. I'm going to get on top of a hill here. Kyle's going to be right there. It's in the center of our screen. Kyle's got it. We're getting up on a hill here where we can look back at it. I'm not seeing not a funnel right now.
Okay. Well, okay.
Right there in the center of our screen, we're north of Hammond, going north towards Leedy.
Yep.
This is going to be on the west side of the highway, and I've got a place right here I can pull off, and we're going to get on a hill, and we'll show you what this is looking like because we had to race back east.
Yeah. Hey, Marty. Marty, listen to me. You guys are not going to have a whole lot of time to stop. These are moving at 50. So.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to give you.
Yeah, go ahead. Get up on the hill.
Get on this hill and give you a quick shot of it.
That's fine.
There's actually 2 areas of interest.
Right. That's what I was noticing.
Okay. Here we go.
So that.
All right, Kyle's got it right there.
Okay. So we have the area to the north, to the right, right? We have an area to the right, and then we have the cone. Is that rotating, Marty? Is that rotating right now? It's a little bit dark. It looks good.
It looks like it is. It's getting broader.
Okay.
There's another. Hey, whoa. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
We may have 2 areas. I got to get on top of this hill.
That's what I was.
Got another area of interest.
Yeah,
it's
right here.
It's going to be farther north.
That's right. That's why you need to keep busting north. Keep going north.
Okay. Kyle's going to show you real quick up north.
I see it.
Lowered area. That's going to be Leedy.
Yeah.
You have 2 areas. Okay. Here we go. All right, you take it. I'm going to get on the road, get back north.
Yeah. You got to get north. Okay, it's on the north side. Okay, let's go back to Links 1. And Marty Logan had the tornado live right here on News 9 about 15, 20 minutes ago. And it's right here. So we got to get Marty northbounded down for sure. He's got to get north in a big hurry. All right, so this is where the tornado is going to be. It's going to be northwest of Moorwood. If I live in Leedy, if I live in between Leedy and anywhere from 10 miles southwest of Leedy, safe spot, lowest level, and you got to go now, right? Okay, I know it's Saturday morning. I know, but this is springtime in Oklahoma, folks, and this is how we do it. So, again, and don't be thinking, oh, this doesn't happen in the morning. This will be an afternoon thing, and yeah. All right, so today we need you to be a hero, not a zero. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I'm talking about.
That's a big base up north.
Okay, so we got to get, if you live in Leedy, the tornado is going to be to your southwest. It's right in here. All right, let's go back to shear rate. Take a look at it here one more time. And what's that?
There you go. There's shear
All right,
rate
so,
for you.
again, do you have Marty turned on? Okay, so here's Leedy. Here's Marty. He's busting north. And, yeah, tell him he's got to get going north in a big hurry. Okay, so this is where the circulation is. There's actually 2 areas of spin here. Right? That's Valcaster shot on the northern storm. I'll get to that here in just a second. So tornado watch is in effect, the first one of the day for all of western Oklahoma. No tornado watch right now for Oklahoma City. We will be in a tornado watch a little bit later. So here in the metro, we're doing okay, right? We've got nothing going on right now of any seriousness, okay? It's all out west for now. All right, so you folks in Leedy, if you live in and around Leedy, tornado safe spot, you got to go. You got to go, and it's right in here. This is the inflow notch, big hail, now showing up to tennis ball size hail southwest of Leedy. We're going to get a lot of hail today, all right? We're going to get a ton of hail today, and this is going to go right on and just west of Leedy, the hail will. Okay, let's go back to Links 1. Let's go to the northern storm and take a look at that. Marty's making his way north.
And the storm that was near Perry earlier has lifted north, David, and that one's continuing to weaken at the moment.
Yeah, that's good. Let's let that thing weaken. But here's
All right, we got 2 areas.
all right. Let's turn Marty's just for a second here.
Okay.
And control room, we have it. Okay, hang on a second, Marty. Tell Marty to hang on just a second here. All right, so this is the area to the north, and this is going to be just to the southwest of Leedy, right? And this is the wrap, okay? And I'll tell you what, let's go back to Marty here. Let's take his shot. Let's pot him up one more time. And let's go from here. Marty, go ahead. Give us an update.
Okay, so we've got 2 areas. One just north of me, maybe 1 mile. We did have some circulation right there. But then Kyle's going to lower the camera, zoom it in. Whoops, look right over that horizon, Kyle. Zoom in. So he's going to zoom in at our area that to the left, just right there behind that double pole is the area where there's a lowering out of that wall cloud that's coming towards Leedy. I couldn't continue farther north because I had some slight circulation. Now I'm going to continue north. Yeah, it's good. I'm going north. It looks like it's only 3, 4, 5 miles north of me right now. And we're going north towards Leedy. Do not see a tornado on the ground right now.
All right. Well, great job. Stay with it. He's, again, going to be northwest of Hammond. And Marty had the tornado live on the air. We had it live with Marty Logan. It was up, it was down, it was up, it was down. And for now, it is up, but it is still rotating. The environment will just become more conducive to see more tornadoes today, okay? All right, let's go back to Val Castor's shot now. We're going to jump into northern Oklahoma. This storm now is headed towards Lahoma. It's going to go just west of Ames. And let's get an update from Val. And Val, circulation, give us an update of the wall cloud. What do you think? What do you see? Go ahead.
All right, so what we've had happen since I talked to you last is that the gust front has undercut the wall cloud, has undercut the updraft base of the storm. So therefore, the storm weakened, but this has already happened to us once or twice already, and the storm quickly re-strengthened. So, David, we have a river to our east with no roads, so we had to go north into the core, and we are just now coming up to our east turn. It's just part of storm chasing. You know, sometimes you got to do this kind of stuff. We're in the core. We're going to be turning east here in about 1/8 of a mile. We're going to go out ahead of it again, and this thing will probably most likely ramp up again and overcome its outflow. But right now, that's what's going on. But overall, David, the storm generally has been getting stronger and stronger with time. So we'll keep watching it. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Make your turn. Bust east, and we'll go from there. But again, the roads, most roads are really, really good in Oklahoma, west of I-35. Eastern Oklahoma, it's a nightmare. But west of I-35, roads are good. And but he's having to do a little bit of maneuvering here. He had a wall cloud, had a lowering there about 10 minutes ago. All right, let's go back to Links 2. We'll do a storm track on that. And I tell you what, Enid, the circulation's right here. Right now, it goes to Lahoma. And this is Enid right here. So if I live in Lahoma, thinking about my safe spot, where to go, what to do if this thing begins to produce a tornado. If you live in Wacomas, for now, this is going to stay to your northwest in Wacomas. But if I live in Enid, I'm watching this. Here's Val. We have Von Castor coming in from the east now. He's coming in down to 412, and he's going to be coming into Lahoma. So we'll have this thing covered. We already do with Val being there. And you can see classic supercell hook developing. And here's your timeline. We're looking at Ringwood at 10:39, Lahoma at about 10:48. We'll say 10:46. We'll say North Enid, 11 o'clock this morning. Medford, 11:32. Renfro at about 11:44, and Tonkawa at 11:49. So again, this storm is not going to die. I don't think it dies like this one does. I think it's established, and it's just going to keep making its way. Carrier, Hillsdale, Pond Creek, Jefferson, you folks up here, Narton, all the way through Grant County into northwestern K County, could be getting a tornado or two. Large hail, yes. Damaging winds, yes. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder, but there is certainly a tornado threat. Look at the hook right in here. See the inflow notch? This thing is breathing. It's alive and breathing now west of Ames, okay? So that's the problem, and it's right in here. Val's on the north side. He's going to pop out of this thing here in just a second and look back to his southwest. Let's go back to Links 1, and once again, this is the inflow notch right here. Right in here, and Isabella, little community of Isabella, and here's Val. He's going to make his way just to the east. He's already been down in here where he had a wall cloud. It was developing there, and now he's busting east. He's going to get out ahead of this thing and take a look back into the southwest. So, yeah, this storm means business. It's a supercell. It's a rotating thunderstorm, large hail,
Very strong
damaging
west
winds.
to east winds. Very strong inflow.
Okay. Let's go back to, hey, Justin, mute him for a second. All right, so what does shear rate look like on this? We're looking for spin, right? We know where it is. It's right where it should be.
I'll tell you, that area right there, just south of Val that you've been pointing out,
Is your
that area of shear rate right there, just south of Val, I was just saying, is coming up. That is increasing some. So shear rate has been very weak in that particular area. Now with the last scan, it's definitely increasing.
Yeah. So here's the deal. They've gone up, they've come down, but for the most part, the trend is definitely this.
Lacey, is the
Yes.
circulation going to be
Hey, Justin?
east of Marty?
I need you to mute him for a second, okay? I'm
There we go.
hearing, control room, I'm hearing, okay. Okay. All right.
And it's going to be about 4.5 miles to the south of Val is that rotation. Not
Yeah.
extremely tight, about 4.5 miles to the west of Ames.
Yeah, it's right here. I mean, it's not that tight right now, but it's tight enough. And again, there's your inflow notch right here. That's what we were talking about. And again, we have all this rain and hail wrapping in on the backside of the mesocyclone, which is going to be right here. Okay, yep, okay. And let's go back to Val. Let's bring his shot in. And Val has popped out of the wall cloud, or out of the core, looking back at the wall cloud. Val, is that on the ground? Go ahead, Val. What do you think?
Not.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to stop. I'm going to stop and point towards it. Give me a second here. We're going to point that direction. So what's going on, David, is this thing has rapidly developed a new circulation. It's basically the outflow, the gust front. It is taking care of business in that regard. You look at that big new lowering forming right there. That's it. Okay, it is moving rapidly in our direction. It is developing rotation. Let me look at it here real quick.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in. Let me jump in. Let me jump in. Do I see rotating rain curtains? Do I see rain curtains coming in on the backside of this?
There are rain curtains on
Okay,
the
what's
backside. I
this?
can't tell if
What's-
they're rotating yet, but look in the middle. Look in the middle underneath.
I know. What's this right here? What's this right here? This is what
I can't see where you're pointing at.
Oh, I know. Okay. To the right. Yeah, I know. You can't see what I'm pointing at. You're right. Okay. I look like it looked like a needle funnel trying to come down. It looks like it's trying to localize to me. I mean, folks, that is fast, real-time motion. This isn't sped up. This is live. And this is going to be the storm again northwest of Ames, right? That's going to head towards the western and northern sides of Enid. Okay.
Wow. All I can say, David, is that thing is formed very quickly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of movement going on in that thing. We're watching that close. Rising motion, rotation, nothing on the ground that I've seen yet, but boy, it could happen real fast.
All right, control room. Let's keep his shot up. Let's push it to the left. And Val, if anything happens, I know you will, jump in. Okay, we're about ready to issue our own News 9 tornado warning with this, folks. We're going to do it. And I'm really concerned about that because of that right there. That is a lot, and there's a lot going on in that, okay? There's Ames. This is Isabella. There's Lahoma. And Val's right here. He's looking off to his south-southwest, and this thing is just going to ride
There's
towards
tornado warning.
Lahoma. Tornado warning now for this storm. Val's right there. So 2 tornado warnings now. And this one is going to try to produce a tornado. It looks like that. That is Val's shot. And then we have Marty Logan's shot up here. Okay, so tornado warning now for you folks in Lahoma. This is going to be that News 9 tornado warning for Lahoma up to Carrier, eventually Enid, North Enid. If you live in Enid, if this thing makes a slight jot to the right, I mean just barely to the right, just a little bit of a right turn, we're going to have problems. Okay?
It will be in Enid if it holds together, David, at 11 a.m. with the current trajectory. So that's moving at 45, close to 50 miles per hour, putting 50 miles per hour to give folks maybe a little bit more lead time.
Yeah.
Would be 11 a.m. It is 10:34 right now.
Okay, no doubt about it. Okay, look at Val's shot. Wow, that thing is really ramping up. Man, and you can just see the swirl on here. I mean, the swirl is just, look at that, folks. Look at that shot right there. I mean, that is that right there. That is that right there. And is that middle shot. Okay, let's go back to Marty Logan's shot. And I take that back. Stay with Links 3. We're going to jump back into western Oklahoma. Let's jump back into western Oklahoma on
Okay.
Links 1.
You got it. Yep.
Links 1. And this is where Marty is. Tornado warning continues for this. And once again, it's coming into Leedy. Marty is in rain. And so we need to get, okay, so Justin, what are we going to do with Marty here? Zoom in on the roads.
Okay, he's on 47.
Yeah,
He's
but
on
he's
47 heading east.
okay. He's going to be out of it here for a while because of the river. Okay, so circulation is going to be just northeast of Marty, and let's turn shear rate on. Let's see where it is exactly here.
Okay, and while you're looking at that,
Yeah.
we've had reports also on the very tail end of this, west of Hammond, of circulation and a possible tornado. Not seeing it on radar,
Okay.
but this is really high up in this particular area.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So west of Hammond, all the way up to Leedy. There's 2 areas.
Right. Okay, Brandon Pennell, and where are the other trackers? Okay, Brandon's coming in here. Let's get Brandon. And Justin, Brandon's headed west, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he can be.
Yeah, no, I need him busted west. I need to get on this Hammond storm. I need to get him farther west. Okay? All right, so 2 tornado warnings now in effect. We have one here. This is going to be southwest of Enid. This is in eastern Major County. We have this one now leaving Roger Mills County, moving into southwestern Dewey County. You folks in Sealing, Taloga, heads up, it's coming. It's coming. You're going to get wind, you're going to get hail, and you might get a tornado. Okay? All right, so again, all these storms are rotating. These are 2 big, nasty, gnarly storms that are spinning. And this storm's already produced tornadoes. We had it live on the air.
And David, we do
with
have a
Marty
track.
Logan.
We do have a track on that tornado warning that's over Leedy going northeast at 50 miles an hour on Links 3 when you need it.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go to Links 3. We'll jump back into that. Links 3. And this is going to be the storm track again. And here's your timeline on the Leedy storm. And here it is. We'll say Webb at 10:48, Taloga at about 11 o'clock, Chester 11:12, Fairview 11:38, Carmen noon. And how about we'll say Ringwood at about noon, give or take, and Lahoma at about noon or so. So again, there's where the circulation is. There's where the tornado is trying to develop right now. Marty Logan is there. It's a little bit messy. Marty's headed over to Ray. Let's bring Marty in here and get an update from Marty Logan. And he is eastbound and down now, going into Ray here shortly. And go ahead, Marty, give us an update. I know you're headed east. The tornado is going to be just back to your northwest. You're kind of in a road problem issue right now. Go ahead, give us an update.
Yeah, David, we are in a very heavy rainstorm right now going east on Highway 47. I'm looking out my driver's side window, looking back to the north. It's a little lighter up there, but there's no definition like we had earlier. So I'm hoping as we continue east, we'll run out of more of this rain, and I'll be able to give you a better sight. But right now, it's wrapped up in rain. Well, I can now see the edge of the clouds east of me, so it won't be very long. We're going to be able to get on a hilltop and look back to the north and see if we still have a lowering or a tornado. Back to you, David.
All right, good job, Marty. All right, stay with it. Marty's going to go back east and make his way back north. Tornado warning does continue. Let's get back to it here, and let's go to Links 1 and kind of show you what's going on here. I'll tell you what, Lace, let's do the big view just to give everybody at home. I want to point out nothing in Oklahoma City, right? We're clean and green right now. The action is out west, and this is where it's going to continue for the next several hours, and then eventually, this is going to get a push to the east. We will have severe weather in Oklahoma City. We're very warm. We're very unstable. And we have a real threat of tornadoes in the metro today, in central Oklahoma. All right? Everyone's not going to get a tornado, but the conditions will become very favorable. They already are for the afternoon and into this evening in Oklahoma City. Some of the data the last couple of hours have been trying to break out a lone 1 or 2 storms in the central part of the state. That would be a bad deal, right? Other data says no. It kind of comes out of this. This lifts to the north, and we get a second firing of storms in the southwest. Okay? So that's the whole setup right now. But for the time being, for the next several hours, it's in northern, northwestern, and western and southwestern Oklahoma. This is where it's going to be the next several hours. So if you're here in Oklahoma City, you got to run some errands, you got to get out and about, that's fine. Here in the metro, you're fine. Just download the News 9 app. We're streaming on all platforms, and we're almost impossible to get away from. I know, right? So just keep that in mind. You can watch the coverage if you're traveling today, if you're out and about, but at some point today, here in the metro, I think being home and watching from home will be my best advice, okay? as we get into the afternoon. Like I said, not everyone's going to have severe weather. Not everybody's going to have a tornado, all right? We're going to get through this. It's all good. But just stay plugged in, all right? Don't unplug today. That's all I'm asking. Okay, so we have the 2 tornado warnings, again, going on. Garfield County, now coming into southwest Dewey County. And nothing in Oklahoma City. Nothing heading our way now. That will be changing. All right, let's go back to the northern storm. And let's check in. Voncaster now coming through Enid. Vaughn coming through Enid, and this is going to be north of Ames. There's the hook. This is a supercell rotating thunderstorm, and we have a piece of air right here, a column of air right above Val that is going from the ground straight up 20, 30, 40,000 feet. That's the mesocyclone, right? And Lace, we can, if we want to, we can turn on maybe the cylinders and see what those look like.
They're on at the moment.
Okay.
There's the kind of mid-level.
Yeah, mid-level there.
Yep.
Okay, so this is where the low-level circulation is. It's right here, and Val's right there looking right at it. Okay, so this storm has gone up. It's tightened, and then it kind of loses its grip a little bit, and then it tightens back up. And that's a good thing. It's having some problems right now, but it is still a big rotating thunderstorm, and it's not good, right? But no tornado on the ground right now. Let's go to Valcaster. You know where Val is. He's north of Ames here, about 10 miles. And Val, your storm is headed to Enid. It's headed to Enid. Go ahead, give us an update. And it's trying to organize here. It's going through kind of an organizational stage. It kind of goes up and comes down. What do you think? What do you see? You're underneath it, looking right at it. Go ahead.
David, what's happened now? You explained it a while ago pretty good. The outflow has once again surged out right underneath the updraft base, and it's done this 2 or 3 times already, and each time it has gotten stronger and overcome the outflow and produced a big wall cloud. I suspect it's going to do that again. This is such a strong storm. It just keeps getting stronger each time it does this. So we're going to keep watching it and see if it goes through that cycle again, David.
Okay. All right. Nice job. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm just looking at radar here as you and I are talking. Okay. All right. Val, stay with it. It's gonna go west of Drummond. I know you know that. And okay, let's go back to Lynx 1 here. Now I know the tornado warning. Let's go back to Lynx 1 control room. I know the tornado warning has this thing going to Wacomas, but unless it does something weird in the next 10 minutes, it's not going to Wacomas. Enid, you're going to be in the line of fire, maybe as far south as Drummond, but Enid, North Enid, Carrier, I think this is where our problems are, right? And you can see the wrap coming in right here. You see the hook right here. So the tornado warning continues. Val is right underneath it, and he's going to be taking it northeast. But if I live in Enid, and again, tennis ball size hail, that's going to be between Ringwood and Mino and Lahoma. And you folks in here, along 412, you're going to get big hail right in here. Here's your hail core right over Ringwood. Ringwood's getting trashed right now. Ringwood's getting trashed, and that's going to Carrier. But here's your hook. Here's your inflow. Val's right underneath it. What's shear rate look like? One more time. Okay. So and we'll see what the day holds. Every event is like a thumbprint. They're all different. So what you do is, as the day begins to unfold, you start to look at patterns that you see with the storms, what they look like on radar, and they will tell you a lot, right? As the morning unfolds into the afternoon, we'll start to figure these storms out a little bit because they're all a little bit different. They're all breathing, they're bringing air in, they're letting air out, they're breathing, they're eating, they're surviving. And as you start to watch the trends and how they're living and how they're acting, we'll get kind of a better handle if they're going to make a right turn today or if they're going to begin to occlude and lift to the north. Right now, everything's been pretty much an arrow line to the northeast. That's been the trend so far. But here's your inflow notch right here. Val's looking right back at it. And if I live in Enid, I'm thinking about my safe spot. If I'm in Wacomas right now, I'm watching it, but I'm not, oh boy, here we go, okay? If I'm in Enid, I'm thinking, hang on a second. And if I live in Enid, west of Enid to the north, let's jump up here a little farther north.
Yeah, Lahoma to Ringwood to
Kremlin.
Mino to Carrier.
Yeah, Carrier. Yeah. Kremlin, Hillsdale. You could be in it for sure. Some hail for Hillsdale, but there's your hook right there, and that is a very large supercell producing large hail, damaging winds, 100% guaranteed on that. And then at the same time, we're going to try to get a tornado out of this. Let's go back to Valcaster. His lowering is becoming more pronounced now. He's going to be west of Drummond. You can see his GPS location. Let's bring his shot back in. Val, I see your shot. Is that rotating? Give us an update as you come out of the trees. Tornado warning continues. Go ahead.
Yeah, so here's what's going on. It's done the exact same thing again, David. It's pulled the inflow back in just to our northwest and north, right where you're seeing the camera shot right there. Also, there's an area straight north of us that's got tremendous movement. So it's strengthening again. It's going through that cycle. It's what we call cycling. And each time it does this, it gets a little bit stronger, and the rotation gets a little bit stronger and more pronounced and even bigger around. So only thing we could do here is just hang with it, and eventually it's probably going to do it, I think. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job, Val and Amy. Stay with it here. We'll see what it does. Val's underneath it. If it does anything, Val's going to see it. He's right there. He's right where he should be. I mean, he is literally underneath the mesocyclone, right? Okay. Let's go back to Lynx 1, and this is where Val is. This is where the area of spin is. And it's a little bit broad right now. It's a little bit broad, which is better than being a tighter circulation, right? But you can see the problems we have here, right? He's looking off to his south, and you can see the hook rotating around, and it's going to be right back in here. He's looking off to his south, right at it here. So that's our problem. So right now, there is no tornado on the ground right now with this. Tornado warning continues. No tornado on the ground. But again, here's Lahoma, and this is the area of spin right here. We have the cylinder turned on for you, and it's a product we have here at News 9 that just says basically the algorithms are looking at the wind fields like we are, and that's your cylinder of air that runs from the ground up, okay? And that's the mesocyclone. And notice where Valcaster is, basically in the bullseye.
In the center.
Yeah, so there you go. That's where you want to be. Okay, Enid, tornado warning for you. Just keep an eye on this. If you live in Enid, if you know anybody that lives in Enid, friends, family, uncles you don't like, whatever it is, give them a heads up. Say, hey, this thing it's trying to produce a tornado. Big hail is going to go west of Enid, the way it looks right now, the biggest hail. And there's your hook, and it's going to go on or west of Enid. Okay, so if I live in Enid, west side of Enid to Lahoma, I'm watching this. Also, we need to get Vaughn's shot hooked in. We need to get Vaughn's shot hooked in. He's out. He's streaming. He's right here. Okay, so, well, the hook is really becoming more pronounced right now. Right now. Hey, Cassie, I think Jen's got it. Okay. I think Jen Billings heard me. Billings, you got me? I think she does. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here it is, right here. Okay, so tornado warning. If you live in Enid or west of Enid, here comes Valcaster. Valcaster is right there looking right at it. And let's see, has it made a turn to the right?
I thought it had, but I still think it's headed to Lahoma. To me, it looks like it's still lifting more north. Does it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have done a quick lunge with the meso, but I'm with you. I think it's either on or east of Lahoma. Yeah, I do. So Vaughn's coming in from the west. We'll get his shot up. Okay, let's go back into southwestern Oklahoma. Oh, I see you have 3D volumetric.
Yeah, that's on Lynx 2.
Let's do that. Let's go to Lynx 2.
Okay.
Let me show you what this thing. Let me show you what this storm looks like, except in 3D. This is that exact storm that has the tornado warning on it, west of Enid. And again, there's your inflow notch right here. This is Ames, right? This is Drummond. Here's your hook right here, right here. And we can remove all that, and we can kind of fly around. Look at the tops of this thing. I mean, this thing is, that's the hail. That thing's 30,000 feet. There's your mesocyclone right here. There's your cylinder I was talking about. Here's Val on the north side of the cylinder, right? I was showing you that with that cylinder, right? And Val is in the northeast side. And there's your mesocyclone right here. This is the cut inside, right? The vault right here. And Val, and that right there, that tube right there. See that? That's the mesocyclone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles west of Ames. Val's right there. Here comes Vaughn coming in from the northeast. And that's the one that's going to go to Lahoma, and between Lahoma and Enid. If you live in Enid, it's close. Not close enough to just unplug, okay? All right, hail core, 30,000 feet, tennis ball size hail with that. For sure, nickels and dimes, quarters, and golf balls, up to tennis ball size hail. Right now, that's going to be over Mino, and that hail is going to miss Enid, the big hail. And the entire storm, like we've been saying, might go just west of Enid. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Okay, let's jump into western Oklahoma now. Links 1. And let's talk about the storm down here. Marty is on that. And let's see, Marty's shot. Justin, what's Marty doing right now?
He was heading east.
Okay.
And then taking north on 183.
Okay. All right. He's going to go to 183. Got it. Okay. So here's the deal. The circulation is going to be still to Marty's northwest. There are no roads in here. The Antelope Hills and the river, there's no roads. There are, but there's that road and there's 183 and there's 34. So Marty's going to make his way around and head north. Okay, so the tornado is going to be back in here still. And lots of rain. This is not going to be a tornado that's going to be hanging out. It's going to be messed up with a lot of rain around it and wind and hail and all the above. Circulation, there's 2 areas right now. Let's turn shear rate on here. Is our main area, are you out of VNX? Or?
Yeah, this is Vance. It's much lower.
Yeah.
6,000 feet is where I'm hitting that.
Okay. All right, so that's going to be just northeast of Camargo. It's right here. It's on the north side of this wrap right here, right? So that will take, for now, Tologa, you're going to get severe weather, wind and hail, but the tornado threat now, again, with this circulation, there's going to be others, but the circulation is right up in here. It's right here. Okay, and that's going to try to head up towards Seedling, right? In between Visay and Seedling and up towards Richmond and Chester. Hail sizes out here with this aren't too crazy right now. Nickel, dime, quarters, and maybe some golf balls. Okay, there's Vaughn's shot. And do we have Vaughn in the system? Justin?
I haven't heard.
We do? Is Vaughn in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go to Vaughn Caster. And Vaughn, let's take Vaughn's shot. I think it's remote 124. Vaughn is a little farther north than east. Vaughn, you're looking right at it. What do you think now, Vaughn, as you come in from the east? Is it rotating, and how strong if it is? Go ahead.
I just pulled up on it. It's pretty clear where it is, right there in front of me, right there on 412. This part of the storm, David, is that kind of northern little notch there, and it's crossing 412 right now. So I cannot see any rotation right now, but there is lift. There is lift with it, and we're going to be watching it real careful right here because it's coming. It's got more of an eastward push to it too, which is a little bit scary for Enid. But yeah, we're right underneath it, David. It's right there. Let me see if we got any rotation with it here. This little part here. There's definitely, there's rotation with this. There's rotation and there's lift right here.
Okay.
So it's right over 412, be about 2 miles east of Lahoma. So between Enid and Lahoma, this sucker is cranking it up right now, David. Look at that little lowering right there in the middle. Bowl little formed right now.
Yeah, little cone, almost a cone shape right here.
Yep, almost, not quite, but
okay.
Don't want to jump the gun here, but I'm telling you what, this is a dangerous storm, David.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yep.
No doubt about it. So unless it lunges east, it's going to go west of Enid. Unless it lunges, and Vaughn's right there, Val's right there. Val's coming in from the south, and Val's going to be on 412 here shortly. So Vaughn came in from the east, and we're looking for anything like any debris on the ground, anything like that. But like Vaughn was saying, it is spinning, it is rotating. Vaughn, it looks like now it's going to be north of 412 by just a few hundred yards.
And 10 miles west of Enid.
Okay, and just Lacey said 10 miles now. This will be 10 miles west of Enid. So the good thing about it, Vaughn, you've got great roads. 132 is just to your east. So you're going to have some good roads. Okay, so there it is, not on the ground. Vaughn's right there, not on the ground. And this is going to go west of Enid. Okay, it's going to go west of Enid. This one is. Enid, you're still going to see more severe storms today. Okay, this is just kind of the first go-around, right? We have many go-arounds coming today, all right? Large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. All right, let's go back to it. Links 1, and circulation now has, it really lifted.
Yeah, it did. It was almost like the southern branch had a bit of rotation. Now it's all merged into the center area.
Yeah, it's kind of left its southern area, and it just kind of pinwheel to the the north. Well, that
it looks like maybe the gust front coming out undercut that southern area. Do you see that coming towards Drummond?
It is. It did cut it.
Yeah.
It certainly did. Good catch. Yeah. So gust fronts come underneath the mezzo we had down here, so the energy's been transferred right here. So now the circulation is north of 412. Look how fast that happened, folks. Wow, that didn't take any time at all. Super strong jet stream overhead, not only at the mid-levels, but at the lower levels. So, yeah, that's a mess. Okay, all right, so no tornado on the ground right now. Val's coming up to 412. Let's go back to Val, and he's on 412 now. Val, circulation is now to your north. Talk about rocketing to your north. That thing went up and over, and I mean, it is now north of Lahoma. What do you see when you look off to your north there? Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, so, you're right, David. What happened here is it's been fighting its outflow. Big gust front surge came out, and then this thing just jumped. It leaped northward on us in a hurry. So that means we got to leap northeast real quick. So looking to my northeast right there, I kind of see we're kind of in the rain, but the rain, we're fixing to get out of it, and I can vaguely see it. But the gust front wraps in right up to our north, and I can see a lowered area. And it's going to be northeast of us. Not north, but northeast. Right now, we're 2 miles east of Lahoma, and looking to the northeast, it's starting to come into play there. I see just a large, kind of a lowered base. Let me roll down my window here. Yeah, it's right there. That's where it is. I don't see anything hanging down low or anything like that, but the gust front wraps in right into that base, and it's a big, wider, lowered base now than it was before. So we're going to go up here and find a north road and get under it again. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is, north of 412. This is the right side of the area of circulation. This is the left side. This whole thing is spinning right here, right? And it's making its way to the north. There it is, right there in Val and Amy's shot. That's it, folks. But as you can see, there is not a tornado on the ground. Val and Vaughn are there. And by the way, the next couple of hours, this storm, for what it's worth, will push into Kansas. And it will leave our viewing area. But right now, it is in our viewing area, and it is doing its thing. But not a tornado on the ground with this. Tornado warning now continues for you folks west of Enid. Let's go back to Links 1. And I'm going to give you the big view here. Nothing for Oklahoma City right now. Some of the data, still trying to crank out a couple of storms for the afternoon around the metro. That is a concern. That would be a bad problem for us. Other data says that this kind of holds off and that what we get in the metro doesn't come in here until late this afternoon and this evening and comes out of this, all right? This kind of lifts out and we see new storms develop in western and southwestern Oklahoma. But conditions are very favorable today for tornadoes and several tornadoes, right? And honestly, today's going to end up being a severe weather outbreak with wind and hail and tornadoes. And the atmosphere is also set up today that some of these tornadoes could be strong, could be long-lived, which means they last, 10, 15, 20 miles. They travel over a county possibly. That is the setup today that we are looking at right now, which is a problem, right? Which is a problem. And that will include Oklahoma City later this afternoon and into this evening. And I think we're going to have, pardon me, tornado warnings even as we get into tonight because the dynamics are so strong. All right? Okay, let's jump back into this. So this is your supercell and still has the tornado warning on it for good reason. And this hook lifted to the north, crossed 412, and it's now coming in and just south of Carrier, right? It's right here, and there's your hook. Somebody got
Val's
something?
right there, and he has some noted rotation, but it looks like it's getting undercut once again.
Okay.
You can see the gust front wrapping up into
It is.
where Vaughn and Val are. Also,
Yeah.
this has turned a little bit further to the right, David. Just in the last scan, it lunged a little bit further east.
Yeah, and also, guys, I know it's behind the gust front. We'll see if this loses it and tries to tighten back up, but also keep an eye on the flanking line on the back side of this, right back in there.
Okay.
Anything can happen. Okay. All right, so circulation, again, is south of Carrier. Here's your gust front punching in, and there it is right here. It's just south of Carrier. Val and Vaughn are right there looking right at it. Let's go to Val Castor, bring him back in, and let's bring his shot in as well. And Val, we have your shot. Go ahead. I was seeing some fingers hanging down there for a second. What do you think? What do you see? Go ahead.
Yeah, so it does have rotation in the base, and as soon as we turned and went north and got out of the rain, we could see the big broad base, and we could see rising motion, we could see turning and rotation, but the gust front quickly undercut it again, just like we've seen happen. And right now we've got west-southwest winds, cooler winds, obviously. I mean, you could almost say this is rear flank downdraft type stuff, but it's effectively cutting off each time the circulation develops like that, it cuts it off. But it's recovered, like I say, at least 4 times we've seen, and recovered strong. We're going to keep watching it and stay under it. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So nice job. That's going to be the northern storm with the tornado warning on that, which is Miss Enid. We said it was probably going to go west of Enid. You folks in Enid are out of this one, but you're not finished. There'll be more severe storms today for sure, and that will include the Enid area. All right. Let's go to links 1. And, okay, so this is the hook up here, and then we're going to jump back into western Oklahoma next. So here's your hook right here, and it may be trying to tighten up. But here, see this green line right here? See that green line? That is a push of cooler air coming out, away, and under the mesocyclone. You're not going to get a tornado with that. It has to tighten up stronger to get that to happen. So, great. That's a good sign. If it keeps doing that, we don't get a tornado out of it. But if it tightens up more and continues to tighten up, it will not be able to have this gust front and this air pushing east, and it will keep the mesocyclone in the warm, moist, and stable air, and that'll be a problem. All right, so let's kind of back out of this just a second, then we'll do a storm track. Okay, links 2, storm track.
Yeah, links 2, storm track, and I'll kind of turn it a little bit more.
Let's go back to links 2, control room. And there's your storm track. And we made it a little bit wide because this thing has made a little bit of a turn a couple of times. Like I was saying, it's trying to show us, the day is trying to show us what it's going to do. It's a straight line overall, but we've had some pretty good little wobbles on this thing. So we'll see if that continues into the afternoon and evening and tonight with all the other storms we're going to get. But here you go. All right, so there it is. We're talking about North Enid at 11:10, and that's going to be way up here. North Enid, you're going to be on the northern edge of it. And you'll be able to see it go by, but hopefully it'll be just to your north. But Kremlin, you're in the line of fire, 11:16. Pond Creek, 11:26. Hunter, 11:28. Lamont, 11:40. Deer Creek, 11:49. Narden at 11:53. Now, what we've done is we've done a storm track on the rotation, not the storm itself, on the most dangerous part of the storm. Sure, Hillsdale, Jefferson, yeah, you're going to get trashed with hail, okay? But where the hook is and where this is, Kremlin, Lamont, Narden. This is what we're worried about in this zone right in here, right? Anybody inside that box, okay? All right, but you folks in Enid, it's to your west, it's to your northwest, you're good for now. And it's going to miss you. That one is. Again, listen to what I say, that one is. You're going to have other storms coming back in here, and they're not that far away. All right, let's jump back into western Oklahoma. We're going to get back to Marty here in a minute. Let's stay with links 1. And let's jump back to the west here. Let's keep our trackers up if we can. Oh, thank you. And okay, so this is another big wave of storms here. Brandon's coming in from the east. Jeremy's going to go southwest. We still have Hank holding back. And we're still worried about, we have our sister station in Tulsa. Cassie, did you make contact?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going to happen is there's a chance that we get additional thunderstorms to develop out ahead of this across central Oklahoma, and that would be a bad deal. They would be by themselves, and I say this all the time, a storm by itself or a storm isolated is a scary storm. It's not interacting with other storms. They can still produce tornadoes, but most often your most violent tornadoes and your strongest tornadoes and the frequency of tornadoes come out of storms that are by themselves, okay? So that's what we have to keep an eye on, at least for the metro. I think still this afternoon, this evening, we're still going to see severe storms in Oklahoma City.
And David,
yeah, go ahead.
I do have the latest HER on links 5 if you want to look at that.
Okay, let's go to links 5, control room, and just kind of give you just kind of a look into the future. And here's Oklahoma City at 1 o'clock, and the models are doing an okay job. They're just computer models, right? And some of these are bringing in AI. I get it, but a model is only so good, right? Mother Nature still wins out. So here's what some of the models are doing. And see these storms here? If this happens, we have problems in Oklahoma City, at least with rotating storms and the possibility of tornadoes. But notice our storms are small and they don't last that long, but it's just a model, so we can't count on that. But also notice what we have going on today at 5 o'clock. Rotator, 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 rotator. Big storms producing big hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Okay? And then we get that, and then we get rain and storms, and then eventually this will line out, but it doesn't mean that the tornado threat still won't be there. We'll have some flooding this evening, tonight. Look at that rain. So there's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're still here. Okay. All right. So, long day, long night. And then we have the marathon tomorrow, right? So we have a lot going on this weekend. Okay. Let's get back to it. Links 1. And Marty Logan's made his way north here. And I see Valshot. Valshot looks pretty good right now.
Watching it closely, Val.
Okay. What'd you say, Justin? You're hot. Okay, so here's Enid. We have the hook here, right? Northwest of Enid. Val's on that. And we're going to jump back into southwest Oklahoma, too, because that is beginning to ramp up. That is now going to become another focal point for the afternoon. All right, Marty Logan's here. And let's go ahead and take a look now. You folks in Sealing and Chester, get ready. Big wind, big hail, wind 70 miles per hour, quarters, maybe some golf balls. Circulation is a little bit ragged in this thing now. It's not like what it was. It has weakened a little bit. Not as ragged, not as tight, not as localized. And we have wind in here, damaging wind, winds 50 to 60, right? But no localized area of spin. Let's go to Marty here. He's in Taloga. And bring Marty and Kyle back in. He is in, and I mean, there you go. Driving by the feed store. I don't know exactly where he is. All right, let's go ahead. Marty, go ahead. You're in Taloga. Big hail, lots of hail to your west. Go ahead, give us an update. Moving through Taloga, your circulation has weakened. Your storm has not. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we're coming out on the north side of Taloga right now. We're going to run into the leading edge of the core of this thing, but we don't have an east road that we can take. So we're going to have to go into Sealing, go north to Chester, and go east that way. That's our only route because it's following the river, and roads just aren't there. So that's what we're going to have to do right now. Right now you're looking out the north side of Taloga, very heavy rain. We're running into it, coming across the river, and we'll probably have some hail to report to you here in a little bit. Back to you, David.
All right, nice job. So Marty's already had the first tornado of the day here in Oklahoma. Marty Logan had it earlier when it was southwest of Lady. It was on the ground. It was up. Him and Kyle did. It was up. It was down. It was up. It was down. Now it's up. And that storm has come down as far as the tornado threat. Okay, let's go to Valcaster. And I'm going to jump back into that northern storm now, which is northwest of Enid, and get an update from Val. And Val, what do you think? Looking at it, there is still rotation, Val, but it's not as localized as what it was. It's kind of spread out a little bit. Go ahead, give us an update.
Yeah, we are in some trees right now, so you might lose it just for a second. But what's happened is the very same thing that we've had going all along. It's reformed again just to our north, and you could see the lower clouds. Anytime the lower clouds appear like that, you could tell what's going to happen. We came out of the gust front a little bit earlier, the cold air, and our windows started fogging up immediately. We got into the warm, moist air again, and then just to our north, it started reforming again. That's what's going on. But this gust front keeps pushing, and this thing has cycled 4 or 5 times at least. But there's still a tornado warning up above. If you could look at the storm and look at the updraft is rotating like a top. I guarantee you, it's just what's going on at the surface that's keeping this thing, from doing it, thankfully, at this point. So we're going to keep watching it. The best thing we can do is just to stay with it if it finally decides to do it. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job. So Val and Vaughn are both on this northwest Garfield County storm, or the storm northwest of Enid. No tornado on the ground right now. That storm has come down. Let's go to Links 1 here. We're looking at storm strength. And Lacey, it's really come down.
Yeah, it's weakened significantly from what it was. It was almost pegging the meter there for a little bit near Ringwood.
Yeah.
When it first became tornado warned.
Yeah. And it was really pegging it. And this is where the rotation was at its strongest. We had the hook and all that. And notice how we're losing the purples. And the tops were coming down just a bit. So that storm has weakened.
And then the storm near Cleo Springs is actually strengthening, kind of on the back edge, the area you were saying to watch out for.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy yet, but
no,
that storm's increasing. It's lifting north.
Yeah, we just got to keep an eye on that. This is the kind of day where there's just so much shear or spin in the atmosphere that even though this is weakening, this one's going to take off. Remember, and we're still getting warmer outside. We're becoming more unstable, especially east of this line.
Yeah, I'll say where it's raining and where it has rained, David, it's in the 50s. So there's a chance the storm near Sealing does continue to weaken a little bit as it moves over some of that rain-cooled air
Yeah.
from the previous storm, the one Val and Vaughn are on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're getting, it's cloudy up here now. That storm's going up, but it's also moving into an environment that's been heavily worked over with the big storm that went through. So again, and this is all going to play a key role in what happens for the afternoon and into this evening. Are we going to have severe weather? Yes. We're going to have a bunch of storms? Yes. Lots of wind, lots of hail. We're going to have some flooding. But having storms train over the same area over and over again will also have some impact on the tornado threat. Sometimes it can lower that threat at least a little bit in some areas. But I'll say this, we have nothing here in Oklahoma City. From east of this line, we are completely rain-free, storm-free, and the air is unstable. And none of this is, again, blocking any of the moisture coming into central or western Oklahoma. We already have plenty of moisture in place, low-level jets going on, so there's a lot happening here. All right, so whose is that? That's Val's shot. Okay. All right, so Val storm for now is weakening. Tornado warning continues, but we could almost, unless something changes, we could almost drop that tornado warning for northern Garfield County. That's moving into Grant County. I wouldn't let my guard down yet. If I live in Grant County, I'm watching this thing till it's out of here until it's into Kansas, right? Okay? But, and here's the deal. That storm has weakened some. This storm is still about as strong as what it has been, but the circulation is not what it was. Okay, so Marty's in heavy rain. He's going to make his way back to Sealing and then
the hail core over Tologa has really come up with that.
Yeah, Marty was just there. Okay, let's go to Marty. He's right here in Sealing. No tornado warning with this now. Okay, some good news there. I know, Marty, you're making your way north, and you'll make your way back east out of Chester. That'd be my call. Go east out of Chester. When you get a little farther north, we'll see what we're doing here. But go ahead, and no tornado warning. Again, it has weakened as far as that tornado threat, but a big wind and a big hail threat. Wind 70, quarter golf ball size hail. Go ahead, Marty.
Okay, so just as we came out of Tologa, the wind really slammed us right as we got to the bridge. Kyle said the velocities just ramped up in that area as we came across. We are almost, we're at the road right now where we can go back east to Sealing, north to Chester, and then go back east again. The only time we've been able to see real definition is when we first had the tornado on the ground northwest of Hammond, and ever since then we've been driving in very heavy rain, which we're not complaining about because we are in a drought. We need the rain. But right now we are going to stick with this storm and keep going east. Back to you, David.
All right, nice job. So here's the deal. So Marty had the first tornado of the day. Him and Kyle are still with this thing. They're going to keep chasing it. And they're in a good spot because this is where the action is, western and southwestern Oklahoma. So if it ramps up and begins to produce another tornado, Marty's going to be right there. But it's kind of a messy storm right now. It's a big storm, but it's kind of a messy storm. Let's go to Lynx 1 here, and it's coming into Chester. Big hail now coming into Tologa, crossing 183. That hail's going to go to Fonda, to Orion, and to possibly Cedar Springs. And to Marty's in Sealing. He'll make the turn, and he'll keep going north and east. But lots of hail in here, nickel and dime, quarter, golf ball size hail, as it makes its way to Sealing, okay? And but right now, looking for any areas of spin in that. What is velocity today? Anything showing up?
South of Marty.
A little bit of
southwest of Marty, a little weakness there.
Yeah. What is shear rate like? Does it have it on shear rate? Yeah, a little bit. But man, it's nothing crazy. But it's there. And it's right in the middle of this.
Wrapped in that wind and the hail.
It's right here.
The rain, yes.
It's really crossing 183. So you wouldn't see it, and you're not going to be able to see the lowering or anything. It's right here. It's right here. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, it looks a little better.
It does. Looks a little better. And Max, okay. Okay. All right, headed northeast. Okay.
Man, the hail core, we just got an update there. I mean, we're starting to see the whites now in intensity.
Yeah, I'm going to have tennis balls. What's hail size look like to you?
Still showing golf balls.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of hail versus very, very big hail, but
yeah, tons of hail.
I know we'll start to get reports from Tologa very shortly.
Yeah. And Marty, just Pardon me, just went through there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so no tornado warning, but severe storm. Sealing, Chester, Orion, Fonda, Huckmack. It's coming. It's coming for you. Sealing, you're in the line of fire. If you live in and around Sealing, get ready. Right now, the threat's large hail, damage, and winds. Area of spin is going to be just north of Tologa. Right there, right where my finger is. Area of spin. Right here. All right, let's back
Marty
out.
has a shot of that lowering there.
Okay,
towards
yeah.
south of Sealing.
All right, yep, there it is. Let's go to Marty's shot. And we'll bring Marty back in here. Marty, go ahead. And a little bit hard to see. Lots of rain. Grays are kind of all the same
We can
color.
see it turning. Hey, we see it turning. It's going to be south of Sealing. I'm going to get out here on the highway. We can see it. It's wedged down. Has a side to it that's angled down. All right, I'm going to get turned right here. It's south of Sealing, probably 3 miles, would you say? About 3 miles. We have a angled base. That's going to be what we ran through coming out of Tologa, that we had all the strong winds. I'm going to pull in right here. Got to turn my defroster on. So where that silo is in our shot, it's going to be just to the right of it. It's shrouded in rain. It almost looks like a point coming down to the ground. Can you see it on the right side and left? It looks like it's
Okay.
It's right there behind that silo. That's going to be south of Sealing. We're going to have to go farther south to confirm this. This would be on the big hill south of Sealing is where it's headed for the locals. Back to you, David.
Okay, well, Marty's right there. He's right where he should be. He's in Sealing, looking off to the south. And it's messy, folks. It's again, very, very, very messy. Lots of rain, lots of moisture. So that's a problem, too. These guys are chasing by wind and by power flashes at this point. There's a lightning strike. So he's on the south side of Sealing.
Marty's got his wind indicator there on his antenna right behind you. Flying around. For folks at home.
What's that?
Hair coming off the back of your head, David. But can you see it?
Oh.
That on there just so folks at home.
Oh, okay.
You can tell the direction of the wind at all
Yeah, hey,
times.
you're not hot. Are you hot? Go ahead, talk again.
Okay, I flipped it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound great now.
All right.
Were you on?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what I'm telling you is folks at home, for Marty Logan on his antenna, well, now you can't see it in a shot, but you can see the little flap there coming off there. That's a string he ties on so he can see the wind direction at all times.
I thought you were trying to say that Marty was trying to give me some extra
Well,
hair.
it looked like you had a ponytail for a second when you were talking.
I'm not
Thought
scared.
we should address it.
I'm not scared. I wish I could grow a ponytail.
You could rock
it. All right, so circulation again now just to the south and southeast of Sealing. All right, let's go back to Links 1. Not a tornado warning on this, not right now, but we're watching it. Marty's right here. Area of spin here. Is there another area that's to the north that I keep seeing? You're coming out of Vance, right?
Yes, it is.
So we have another area of here that's trying to spin here. Look at that shot. Look at Val's shot. And it's pretty in its own way, right? He's underneath it, but nothing lower in that. Nothing lowering in that. That storm has weakened to the north.
And the sirens are going off in Sealing.
Okay, that's a good idea. Ceilings are now sounding in sirens are now sounding in Sealing. There we go. And that's all good. I'm all about sirens. Remember, sirens are, for a small town like Sealing, everybody's going to hear it. That matters. That counts. But for bigger cities, there's just too many people that sirens are really built for. They do help, but they're made for mainly people that live fairly close to a siren or they're outside. Remember that. You got to have other ways to be able to get warnings. Our News 9 app, you can watch us streaming, yada, 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 yada. There's so many ways to watch us, right? News 9 app, News 9 weather app, news9.com. Whatever you got to do, just take us with you. Hey, here we go. If you got to get out and about. Here in Oklahoma City, folks, we have nothing coming our way right now. Okay, so let's back out of this, kind of give you the big overview here. And Links 1, we'll stay with that. We'll go ahead and back out.
Okay.
And right now, as of right now, no tornado warnings in effect. We've had the one tornado. Cass, is that video ready?
They're getting it.
Okay. All right. And you might need to help them out just a bit.
They're having video issues.
Okay. All right. Are they going to get that addressed?
They're trying.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have the two supercells, both rotating. This one did not produce a tornado. This one did. Marty was on this. We had it live only on News 9. About an hour and a half ago, we had that live. It was up, it was down, it was up, it was down. Then it went back up, and then it stayed up. But it was on the ground. The tornado was on the ground when it was southwest of Leedy, southeast of Roll. So a lot of storms up here, and sometimes what can happen is when you have a lot of storms interacting with each other, that will limit the tornado threat. It'll at least try to bring it down some. Because in the atmosphere, as far as how things are set up today, it's very dynamic. It's a tornado atmosphere, right? It's set up for that today. Okay, but if you can get storms that kind of hang out with each other, turn into a big party, that kind of limits that tornado threat, at least in those areas. It can some, not always, but it can. I'd rather see a big cluster of a bunch of storms all mingled together than one lonely storm, okay? Remember, a lonely storm is a scary storm. I don't like them. All right, going into Pond Creek. And
that's Val and Vaughn's storm, and I was just noticing kind of on the northern edge coming into Pond Creek, the wind picking up.
Yeah.
I'll show you kind of what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's reconfigured itself completely from what it was.
So Vaughn and Val have backed off that? Justin?
Do what? They
Vaughn
backed
and
off
Val?
of it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it surged out. I know Val was trying to reposition, seeing what he was, because it looked like it was very outflowish to him.
Yeah.
And he was trying to make a decision on, since we have both of them, if Val was going to pull off of it or
Okay.
not.
Well, then we need to get Vaughn north in too, because I don't want it to do something up here in Kremlin.
And Vaughn's going to stay with it. He's getting in position again.
Zoom in on Vaughn. Let me see his road here.
Okay.
Let me see what he's looking at here. Okay. Yeah, he's got roads. He has some screen roads. So he needs to get northbound and down though. Get east and get north. But get north. Okay, let's go back to that. Let's stay with links 1.
Okay.
And again, we're trying to get a new inflow notch to develop on the north side of Pond Creek. What does shear rate look like? Is it showing that yet?
Yeah, it's been showing the wind kind of rushing up from the south to the north towards Pond Creek. Yeah.
Okay, so new area of circulation, west-northwest of Pond Creek, trying to develop right now. And there it is. There's Max Road. It's all there together. Pond Creek up to Jefferson. No tornado warning on this. That's what I said. I said we go ahead and drop that for now. But it can go back up. It can easily intensify. This is a storm by itself.
Remember, the Vills had really come down on it.
Yeah. Now they're,
but they didn't really go away. I mean, it didn't weaken completely and die by any means.
Right. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning for Grant County, Jefferson, up to Renfro. You're in the line of fire right now. This is a wind, high probability of damaging winds and hail. Nickel, dime, quarter, golf ball, lots of rain. And but see the swirl here trying to develop. And boy, that's happening really, really fast.
It is. And while you're looking at that, we were talking about golf balls near ceiling. We did have a report from the emergency manager there from Woodward County, 4 miles south of 183 and 270 at the intersection, golf ball size hail. So damaging hail with damaging winds coming through that area.
Okay.
And Marty so far has nickels to a couple quarters with west winds at 50 at his location right now. Okay. And we'll get back to him. All right, I just want to point out real quick, K County here. These are little supercells. They're spinning, but they're very small. And they're now north of Blackwell. Bremen, watch this storm here. Watch the storm north of Blackwell. They're not even severe. They're going to be into Kansas here shortly. And then we're going to forget about them, right? But they are just now developing. Some lightning, some thunder, some small hail. And these are going up spinning. A little bit of a hook. Northwest of Bremen. Going to have a little lowering on that. You folks in Bremen can see that. And you'll see a little bit of a hook northwest of Blackwell, a little bit of a lowering in Blackwell as you look off to your northwest and Blackwell. But nothing crazy, right? But they're developing quickly and they're lifting to the north.
Yeah, also quickly. Back near Helena too, and Goltry, David. Kind of similar situation.
Yep. Now, remember though, this is in worked over air. So the folks at home, remember, that's what Lisa and I were talking about. This is going back into the atmosphere that's worked over. Does that mean we're not going to get a tornado out of that? No, doesn't mean that at all. But we like the fact that we're having, God, look at that thing.
I know, it's looking more and more impressive minute by minute.
How close is Vaughn? Okay,
Vaughn's northbound.
Yeah. Did he park it for 10 minutes?
No, the thing cycled and
came
up.
Shear rate is coming up between Jefferson and Pond Creek, and there really is becoming more of an inflow notch right there.
Yeah, it's going to produce. Okay, let's go to Vaughn Castor. Let's bring Vaughn in, and I know he's not there yet, but he's not that far away. Vaughn.
Tornado warning coming.
Vaughn, tornado warning. And I know you're making your way north, but you got to get northbound and down. This thing is ramping up and is probably the most impressive it's looked all day now. just to your north. Go ahead, give us an update.
Yep. Yeah, this thing cycled back there. When it did, it bumped it northeast quite a ways, and so that's what caused me to fall behind. I'm headed north right into it, David, so I'll be there in a matter of 10 minutes, but I'm making my way that way. Back to you.
All right, nice job, Vaughn. You got to get north, northbound and down. You got to get north, and we'll see what it does. So tornado warning now for you folks in Jefferson. We were talking about this and how quickly that was changing, and Vaughn Castor's coming in from the south. All right, let's go back to Links 1. Tornado warning now for Jefferson to Medford. Links 1 control room. And there it is. There's your hook. Tornado's going to be right in here. There's Jefferson. There's Medford. And let's back out of this just a second, just so I can see the timeline. And Renfro, you're going to be on the western edge, but this thing might occlude and try to come into Renfro.
Or I'll lapse it so you can kind of see them where the motion has been.
And the track is ready on 3 when you need it.
But anyone along Highway 81.
Can you lap it more than
15?
Yeah.
There we go, 30.
Are we in sales up there yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's moving almost due north.
Yes, up 81.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Medford, Renfro, line of fire. And this thing, it might make its way to northwestern K County, but it also might just completely be in northern or eastern Grant County. So Renfro, Medford, go into your safe spot. Think about it. If you haven't gone there yet, Renfro, you're okay, but Medford, it's just to your south, and it's going right up Highway 81, right? It's coming into Jefferson right now. Tornado possibly developing right now. Let's go back to...
Links 3 has that track when you're ready to.
Okay, and what do you have on the track?
I've got it moving at 40.
Okay, and you have it like north-northeast?
Right.
Okay, let's go to Links 3. There, okay. All right, there's, and again, Renfro, Medford, Jefferson. You small towns in here. Jefferson moving in now, Medford 11:35, Renfro 11:50, and then it's into Kansas, Caldwell, Kansas at noon today. Right? Circulation's right here. It's almost on top of Renfro.
Winds have drastically increased in the
Okay,
latest
it's
scan.
probably going to produce. All right, let's get to it here. Let's go back to shear rate. Let's zoom in to Jefferson,
1.
to the small city of Jefferson. It's almost right over the town. It's right here.
Okay, so that's shear rate, and I'll put it back in velocity data so you can see.
Here it is. It's coming into Jefferson. Possible tornado now. And the value's down here. What's that? 63? Okay. 63 away, and then towards we got 80, 67, 80 knots of shear. Right now, that would be a weak tornado. If it is a tornado, it's going to be a weak tornado. But it is, no doubt about it, it's going right over Jefferson. Oh.
Okay, let's see if that's in the right spot.
Hang on. No, that doesn't look real. Gosh,
We're
I hope
looking
that's...
for debris, and that doesn't line up perfectly.
No.
But the hook is so well defined now.
Yeah. No. Oh, I hope that's not real. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like
I
it's in,
I think it's in the wrong spot, but it's close. Okay. Are the timestamps the same between shear rate?
The timestamps are the same. It's just the debris detector is usually
Yeah.
slightly behind.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
We'll look at the next scan for sure.
Okay. All right, so you folks in Jefferson, safe spot, big hail coming in on the backside. This is going to be quarters and golf balls, maybe tennis balls in here, crossing the river, just south of Jefferson, just north of Pond Creek. Okay, this is it right here. Look at the hook. Look at the, I want to put something out here. It looks like an octopus. It's got fingers and it's got hands and arms hanging out all over it. See how the reflectivity, the purple, the black, how this wraps around, and then it wraps here, and it wraps here, and you have a weakness in the reflectivity. This is the mesocyclone. It's right here. It's right here. It's right on top and north and east of Jefferson. So if you live in to the north and northeast of Jefferson, tornado safe spot, you got to go now. You got to go now. You got to go now, okay? Tornado could be on the ground. It's going to be close. Right now, it does not appear to be a strong tornado. Velocity data is not crazy high, but it's high enough. Okay, it's going to go right up 81. All right, let's back out of that just a second here. Let's lapse that one more time. Big hook. And again, this could weaken, but right now it's not. The trend is up. Big hail, big wind, damaging hail. Going up 81, going to Renfro. Okay, going to Medford. Medford, you folks in Medford, please listen to me. You got to go. You got to be thinking about your safe spot. You got to go now. Medford, you have about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's moving north at 45. You have about 10 minutes in Medford, okay? Been to Medford many, many times. Great community. Lots of good people there, but you got to be paying attention. Call friends, call family, let them know, right? It's going to go right over Medford. It's going to go right into Renfro. Okay. Okay, let's leave this just for a second.
Okay.
And that's tightening up. Yeah, it's all right here. And go back to CC again.
Okay, I did, and there's still a weakness right there. It's lining up. That may be real debris. It may not be from a tornado. It may be winds blowing things around.
Yeah.
But it's very alarming where it's located in vicinity of the rotation, for sure.
That's not good. And there's a weakness there on reflectivity too.
Yeah.
It's right there. Okay. What is that? What's that right there?
I think it's 60.
Okay, now it's north.
Okay, now we're getting, if that's
90.
real.
Okay, 100. Okay. What's everything else? 40, 50?
Yes.
And pockets of 80 to 90?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, damaging winds for sure. Coming through Jefferson, going up 81, going to Medford. Medford, if you don't get a tornado, you're going to get damaging winds. You can count on that. Circulation's right here. Vaughn's coming in. And let's go back to reflectivity one more time. I want to point out that you're not going to see this tornado. What you're going to do is you're going to hear it, and you're going to feel it possibly. You're not going to see it. It's wrapped in rain. So if you think you're going to walk out and just see a clear, visible elephant trunk tornado hanging down or whatever, that's not going to happen. This thing is wrapped in rain right now. And I mean wrapped in rain. From Jefferson all the way to Medford. Medford, you won't see it either. All you're going to do is hear it and then possibly feel it. Okay? It's all rain. It's a ball of rain with the tornado inside of it, possibly. Okay? All right, let's back out of this just for a second.
And then look at the configuration of the storm, kind of to the
Yeah.
west of Jet. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small little storm, but
Yeah.
they're all going up sheer, cyclonically sheared.
Yeah, no, it's got a hook on it. That's going to go right over the lake. Right now, that's going to go east of Cherokee, but a hook on that. Okay, lace us back out of this just for a second. We'll talk about the metro here. Nothing in Oklahoma City. We're good right now. We will see severe weather today. I promise. We'll see wind and hail. There will be a tornado threat for Oklahoma City today. That'll be this afternoon, right? Into this evening. But right now, the big show's out west. Okay. Justin, what do the trackers have? Brandon, what is he looking at? I know he's on that kind of that tail end Charlie out there near Cheyenne.
Yeah, that storm's just been pulsing, nothing too crazy. Marty's just in a wall of rain that he's had 50-mile-per-hour winds and some quarters as he's been blasting east from Chester.
Okay.
But low visibility.
Yeah.
And not seeing anything on radar other than some straight-line winds. There's no real couplet, and the Vilcor has gone down, so the storm itself doesn't look as organized as it did.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. The atmosphere, the main upper storm system that's doing this isn't even here yet. It's coming out. It's moving into Oklahoma with the stronger jet stream winds aloft. That's all coming out right now. Okay, so the tornado numbers, the tornado parameters that we look at are going to get more impressive or higher as the day moves along. Okay?
But the training...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to note one more thing. The training of these storms there in northwest Oklahoma does suppress the severe weather threat just a little bit for them. But also, Lahoma, it's your first quarter inch of rain or more in almost 90 days as you're approaching 1 inch of rain there in Lahoma. And many locations there in north central and northwest Oklahoma desperately need the rain, and they are getting some good soaking rain. So more rain that falls up there, the lower the severe weather threat just a little bit. So some good news for northwest and north central Oklahoma as we continue to watch these thunderstorms, as you can see, developing across North Texas into southwest Oklahoma. As those move to the northeast, more trackers will filter down, and those are the storms that we'll have to watch closely, even here on the west and southwest side of the metro as we head towards 2, 3 o'clock. For those thunderstorms to come up. And looking at the latest observations, temperatures are still climbing up into the upper 70s. If we hit the lower 80s in some locations with enough sunshine, that is a very unstable environment with, like David said, that main energy coming in as we head towards later this afternoon into the evening hours. That will push the severe weather towards the metro and up the ante just a little bit for very large hail, damaging winds, and that tornado risk that we'll watch closely as we approach later this afternoon into the evening hours here across the metro. But right now, David, we're watching those storms off to the west and northwest with heavy rains, and thankfully the severe weather threat has gone down a little bit for many locations, but still we're watching a couple of those storms.
All right, nice job. And again, so here's our setup. The main show is going to be west and northwest and southwest. We are still watching the possibility of an isolated storm to develop out ahead of the main line into the metro. And again, I think that was an overall, it was there. It wasn't a 100% chance at all. It was a lower chance that we get storms out ahead of this main line. But some of the data is still trending towards that doesn't happen. And this is the main line, and storms come into Oklahoma City this evening, which we will see severe weather here in Oklahoma City. Okay, so Tom's in the far west. And by the way, these storms, especially south of I-40, are just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. All right, let's go back to Marty Logan, and just severe right now. Vaughn's up north. I'm going to go back to Vaughn here in just a second. Let's bring back Marty, and one more time. Marty, give us a quick update, and go ahead, give us a quick update on your storm, and then we're going to jump back northeast. Go ahead. You're in a good spot. You're headed eastbound. Go ahead.
Yeah, we just finally got out where there was less rain, and we can see Kyle is looking out his window, which is back to the southwest, and he does see just a little bit of a lowering. We know it's not tornado warned, but as you've been telling us this morning, man, we can't let these things go because they could do it again at any time. So we're going to be keeping with this storm, watching it very closely as it heads up towards Fairview. Back to you.
Okay, all right, nice job there. Good job, Marty. All right, let's go back to northern Oklahoma here on Lynx 1, and let's talk about the tornado warning now, and let's look at this storm again. We'll break it down for you. Let's analyze this. And you can, and by the way, see this rain here coming in from the north? Those are fingers where this is pulling in, and you can just see this thing crawling, right? It's just this, looks like an octopus, right? And you have this coming in from the north, the northwest, and then this is coming in from the southeast. So if you kind of step back and look at that, what's everything doing? It's pointing into an area of low pressure, right? And what is that? That's a mesocyclone right in the middle of that. That's a problem. That's a big, gnarly, nasty storm producing up to tennis ball size hail southwest of Medford with a possible tornado. The circulation now is north of Jefferson. All right, what's shear rate look like on that now? Tornado warning continues for you folks in Medford. Okay, so what it did is it ramped up, and then it's kind of pulled back a little bit. Fine. That's great. Let it do that all day. Still have the tornado warning. If I live in Medford, I'm in my safe spot. I'm there now. And if I'm in Renfro, I'm in my safe spot. I'm at least getting it ready. I'm thinking about it, right? But there's a circulation right over Medford right now. It's right here. Mesocyclone went right over Medford. I assume the sirens are sounding in Medford.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And Renfro. I think Renfro has sirens, as I recall. I know Medford does. Been there for that. But again, this is going to go right up 81. So the circulation's right here. It's right over Medford. Okay, go into Renfro. And then from there, it's going to head up into Caldwell, Kansas. Vaughn's coming in again from the south. This thing is moving. What's the speed now? 50?
Just under, yeah.
Yeah, it's hauling. Okay, so the tornado watch, just give you a heads up, continues for all of western Oklahoma for now, where these storms are. And we have multiple storms, many storms, producing large hail, damaging winds. As of right now, we do not have any tornado warnings in effect. There's your tornado watch for the counties in green. I promise there's a 100% chance there will be another tornado watch after that. That will include Oklahoma City, and then there'll be another tornado watch after that that will go deeper into this evening and tonight. Okay? But our Grant County storm is going to move into Kansas. You folks in Medford, lowest level, center part of the house, and then up to Renfro, lowest level, center part of the house. Nothing in Oklahoma City. Storms out west have gone up. They're just kind of hanging on. Let's go to Brandon. He's on the Cheyenne storm. And let's get an update from Brandon Pennell. And Brandon, what do you think? Your storm continues to get a little bit better organized, but it's still kind of on the tail end of this line. Lots of time left, lots of real estate left for the afternoon. Go ahead, give us an update. What do you think? What do you see?
Okay, David, so we're coming into Cheyenne right now. This storm has continued to go up, and then it kind of holds its own, and then it'll kind of weaken a little bit, and then it has an uptick. One thing I can tell you that y'all were talking about earlier that I think is playing an effect on this southern end of this main line is as we come into Cheyenne, our temperature has dropped to 58 degrees. So it is relatively cooler, more stable air in this area where it's just been raining and raining and raining as these storms continue to train. But there is still somewhat of a I wouldn't really call it a circulation, but a lowered area that tries to get organized, and it kind of maintains itself, and then it goes away, and then it comes back probably as it gets just a hair further east, and it gets a little bit of that southeasterly and southern fetch. But we're right here with it. We're going to continue north and then go east on 33 and be right underneath it just in case it decides to do something crazy. Back to you.
Okay, great update there, Brandon. Keep an eye on it. We know you're staying with that one. Jeremy is also watching a storm that's disconnected from kind of that big conglomerate of storms that Brandon is on the tail end of. Let's go back now to Lynx 1, if we can, and we'll take a look there. Jeremy Carter is watching that storm to the west. We're also watching the storms down in the southwest, down south of Oklahoma, down into Texas. Multiple storms taking off there that are pushing up to the northeast. So that's why Tom Pastrano is down to the southwest, because all indications are those come up and are severe. They may struggle a little bit. They're doing that. They're not severe right now. And then just kind of working our way up the line, because folks in Beckham County, you can see that storm. It's coming up over Eric. It's still just below severe limits. They're all hauling to the northeast, moving 45, maybe as fast as 50 miles per hour, kind of the northeast. There's Brandon, the storm he was just telling you about, up to Leedy, getting some quarter-size hail there once again in Leedy, and the amount of rain falling in these areas, we're really going to have to watch for flash flooding because they're just dumping tons of rain, and they're training over the same area as storms from earlier today. Going further to the north, I'm going to switch radars. Marty Logan, he's been with this all morning long. This tornado watch came out at 6:30 this morning, and our trackers quickly, of course, getting out ahead of these storms early today, and we're only at, 11:40? They'll probably be going until midnight tonight, at least, the way it looks right now, with more storms continuing. Marty, I do want to go back out to you on Highway 60. You're watching that hail core. We know this came over Sealing. It produced golf ball size hail. There's still some areas of rotation within it, nothing too organized. Could have golf balls headed up towards Fairview. Marty, give us an update.
Yeah, we are headed to Fairview. I've got to get some fuel there, but we are concerned about, and I'm sure you're seeing the leading edge. We're seeing little notches on that leading edge as it's coming towards Fairview, and it's starting to get a little bit of a bow to it, so that's of a concern. So we'll get the fuel, then we're going to get back out here and keep an eye on this thing. This thing's been a monster this morning with big hail. Kyle said, or maybe I heard it from you guys, golf ball size hail.
It did, Marty. It did produce golf ball size. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, back to you.
Okay, great update there, Marty. Get your fuel. You've been out driving all day, already going through a tank of fuel and maybe a couple more, hopefully not, as we go through the day. Golf ball size hail, Fairview, that is what it's headed your way. The most intense part of the storm will go north of Canton Lake. But if you know folks in and around the lake, it is Saturday. So many things going on, so many events going on. And as that is happening, you have to have ways to get warnings, have to have ways to stay plugged in, because you cannot be on watercraft, on a boat, on a jet ski, or out in a tent as these storms are making their way on in. You could still get winds to 60 miles per hour over Canton Lake. Anyone in a camper, anything like that, you don't want to be in that as this is coming across the lake. Further to the north, we still have the tornado warning. That storm has weakened. Okay, the tornado warning